I've been trying to find this out, and you're the ones to give permission. This is a copy of the Doctrine of Discovery as it was written and as it is in a museum somewhere. These people are going to repudiate what's written here. And then we are going to give this document to you.
Where'd the color go?
And if you feel that it is proper to burn this document in that fire, then you are the ones to make that decision whether this paper can enter into that sacred fire and express our repudiation of everything that's written here and everything that's going on that hill. We can hear machinery that's putting in pipelines. And it's that those pipelines are able to be put into the ground because of what's written on this paper. It's where it all started. Just after Christopher Columbus returned from his discovery. That's where the word Doctrine of Discovery comes from. And so, elders, would you confer with each other and decide whether it is proper for you to burn this paper in that fire?
Burn it.
Thank you.
On behalf of the Episcopal Church, we gathered near the Standing Rock Nation. We, gathered near the Standing Rock Nation, expresses solidarity with the indigenous people here and of the world, and supports the rights of indigenous people to live and retain their traditional lands and territories, to maintain and enrich their cultures, and to ensure that their traditions are strengthened and passed on for generations to come.
On behalf of the United Methodist Church, we denounce the Doctrine of Discovery as fundamentally opposed to the gospel of Jesus Christ and of our various religious traditions as a violation of the inherent human rights that all individuals and peoples have received from God.
On behalf of the Baptists, we insist that the state of North Dakota, the Morton County Sheriff's Department, and various governments in the world to dismantle the legal structures and policies based on the Doctrine of Discovery and dominance, so as better to empower and enable indigenous peoples to identify their own aspirations and issues of concern.
On behalf of the Presbyterian Church USA, we stand in solidarity with the Standing Rock and tribal indigenous peoples' conviction and commitment that indigenous peoples be assisted in their struggle to involve themselves fully in creating and implementing solutions that recognize and respect the collective rights of indigenous peoples and to exercise their right to self-determination and self-governance.
On behalf of the United Church of Christ, we hold our governments accountable and call on the states of our world to ensure that their policies, regulations, and laws that affect indigenous people comply with international conventions and, in particular, conform to the United Nations Declaration on the Rights of Indigenous People and the International Labor Organization's Convention 16.9.
Are you cooking it now?
On behalf of the Evangelical Lutheran Church of
I
America,
gotta leave at 10 o'clock.
we call on each World Council of Churches member churches and our various faith traditions to reflect upon its own national and religious history and to encourage all parishes and congregations to seek a greater understanding of the issues facing Indigenous people, to support Indigenous peoples in their ongoing efforts to exercise their inherent sovereignty and fundamental human rights, to continue to raise awareness about the issues facing Indigenous peoples, and to develop advocacy campaigns to support the rights, aspirations, and needs of Indigenous peoples.
On behalf of the Unitarian Universalist Association, one more. Okay, and there's one sentence, so we can split it. We call upon WCC member churches and our various faith traditions to support the continued development of theological reflections by Indigenous peoples, which promote Indigenous visions of full, good, and abundant life, and which strengthen their own spiritual and theological reflections.
On behalf of the Christian Reformed Church of North America, in June of 2016, the Senate rejected the Doctrine of Discovery as heresy in response to a study report on the subject. Senate is the annual General Assembly of the Christian Reformed Church. On the task force, there were some people from all nations, and we gathered, and I was one of the task force members, to come up with a 60-page report mandated by Senate 2012, which states that many Europeans tried to choke out Indigenous culture in North America, beginning with the papal bulls during the 1500s. And persisting in subtle ways in the present day. In the 1800s and 1900s, authorities used Euro superior world view to place Native American children in the boarding school with the goal of assimilating them. The report states, I am a surviving boarding school, and I have been a part of boarding school for 9 years. And I have a lot of intergenerational trauma, and I'm trying to heal from that. So I was just silent for over 50 years of not telling anybody, even my family. So I came up with a video, 17 minutes, 38 seconds, telling about my life, and it's going to be released pretty soon, and I hope you can see it as we release it, probably in the next month. Thank you.
Others will have opportunity when we're up on the site. But we're going to complete this act. If those of you who read would please go to an elder and give them a copy of the Doctrine of Discovery. Did everyone receive one? We're giving it to them to decide what they would do with it. Please.
Let them do their thing. They got permission. Yeah, thank you.
We were told that the elders had the choice of putting it into the fire.
Fire's not in my picture, okay?
Okay, that's what we were told that we could do if the elders chose to do that. So, we have an alternative source, an alternative way. Person had a abalone shell. Yeah. Come forward here, please.
Here, I'll make you something.
I got one.
You need to hold it.
Bring them over, please.
Yeah, put it in here. If you want. You don't want to use the abalone shell.
Burn them in this. Here. Burn them in that. Somebody has good matches.
You can hear it right there. Yeah. It's not going.
I was taught in seminary that if you have to explain a symbol, the symbol wasn't very good. But I do want to make sure that we saw and understand what we may have seen here. When the Doctrine of Discovery was read, most of the people who were reading it were of a younger generation. The ones who received it are elders. What I saw and what I heard when younger people read it is the commitment of a church for generations to come to keep their word with these people. That's what I saw, and that's what I heard.
Amen. with the microphone.